A negative review actually will help you increase sales. People want to see the good, the bad, and the ugly.
It's that thing of it's too good to be true that only has 5 star. You're like, something's going on here.
I'll look at a thing, it'll have a 4.9 rating. I'll go on, there'll be 10 great reviews and 1 bad review. I probably learn more from the bad review.
Hello, welcome back to the DTC Deep Dive. My name is Fraser. Hello, nice to meet you. First of all, before we go on, what do you think about the new branding and the new artwork? Isn't it cool? It's great, isn't it? Today we're joined by Callum. He's a CEO over at reviews.io, which is an incredible tool to help D2C brands collect verified reviews. And we go really deep in this one about reviews, reviewers, and how you can get the most out of these people leaving reviews on your products and why reviews are so important. We hear about them all the time. You probably have them on your website, but are you making the most of them? Well, let's find out in this week's episode. Callum, welcome to the D2C Deep Dive. It's so great to have you. We've spoken a few times, we've worked together a few times, but I think when I think reviews, I think of you, Callum.
Thank you. I mean, that's what we want.
Yeah, good. If you don't know Callum, if you don't know reviews.io, first of all, I find it pretty difficult if you're in the D2C industry to not hear of reviews.io, since like whereabouts are you on the Shopify rankings?
We're pretty high.
Yeah.
I never focus, it's one of those things that I never focus on. I generally
Pretty high though.
Yeah, I think we're like top 10. I think we'd be pretty good. But we have a weird split. 50% of our clients are off the Shopify platform, and 50% are on. It's a pretty even split at the minute. We work with all the other platforms and legacy sites and custom coded sites and so forth. So yeah, it's just something I never focus on SEO, and I never focus on my ranking in the Shopify store. What I care about is, are we offering a good enough service that somebody is willing to recommend us? And that's what I focus on. So off one client, can I get 2 clients?
Yeah, It's an interesting way to think about it. Yeah, because I think referrals are incredibly important. I think referrals are better than any other type of marketing you can do.
Word of mouth has always been the best.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. So, first of all, if people don't know who you are, if people don't know reviews.io, give us the rundown. That's the easiest way to start these things.
My name's Callum Mckeefery. I'm an entrepreneur, and I've done several startups in the past. And I founded reviews.io with my wife. From our kitchen table. We'd done a couple of startups. I had some big hits very early on in my career, and then had some catastrophic failures like we all do. And I pivoted one of these catastrophic failures into reviews.io. We spent probably about 18 months at our kitchen table, just hustling, we put out an MVP. I mean, I'm talking back in 2010, 2011 now. And we literally grew very organically. I got the first clients on, my wife got the second client on, and then we brought in 1 member of staff. We earned enough to bring on another member of staff, and we kept growing like that. And now we're about 80 members of staff in 5 countries. We've got 12 million plus revenue. We've never taken any VC. So we're one of the only startups out there that's fully bootstrapped. So we've grown very organically. And it's been a fun journey. But because of us growing organically, it's meant that we could do it the right way. A lot of review companies took a lot of VC money. And then what they had to do with that VC money, in my opinion, was put bums on seats, selling their service quite aggressively. And that, to me, seemed wrong for reviews. I think it has to be more authentic. I think it has to be more organic. And it's not a service. I can't sell your outcome. It's not like PPC. It's not like video, like your video or anything like that. I can't sell that you're going to be a great company. So putting a lot of bums on seats, selling my service really isn't probably the correct way to sell it. Because I can't guarantee you that you're going to get you're a great company.
Yeah,
Or anybody
sure.
who, it's like a good SEO person will never guarantee you results in Google. They'll never guarantee you that number one spot. And anybody who does, you shouldn't touch. It's exactly the same in the
Yeah.
it's exactly the same in the review space. Anybody who guarantees that you're going to get 5-star reviews is, you know, stay clear, because that's not who you should be dealing with. Yeah, so we grew organically. We've got Sydney, Berlin, Leicester in the UK, which is where I'm based, Irvine in California. God, I get mixed up, to be honest. We're running at about 80 staff right now, but we'll probably be about 100 by the end of the year.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been such a fun journey. Literally, I get to work every day and go and work with my friends.
Yeah,
You know.
that's the way. That's so cool. So I think, so one thing that I really want to go through with you is the importance of reviews in D2C, because I think it's something which is overlooked. Quite a lot of people know reviews are important, but they don't
Yeah.
realize how important reviews are.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, I know when I'm buying a product, I think this is one of the reasons why people buy off Amazon so much, is because the reviews are front and center and they're pushed so hard that it's just the way that you pick a product. Like, you wouldn't think of buying a 2-star reviewed Amazon product.
No.
You just wouldn't do it.
No.
But with D2C, you can't, you don't have to have reviews on your products. You don't, so, and people can kind of curate them and do some dodgy stuff with them. So it's not always super trusted. So
that's the problem. It's not trusted. You said, you hit the nail straight on the head.
Yeah.
It's not trusted, where we know Amazon has fakes.
Yeah.
But we know they're not all fake.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually trust that Amazon is actually going to deliver tomorrow. And it's not, we know probably it's not going to be the cheapest, but we know probably it's not going to be the most expensive. But we know it's going to turn up. And if I have to return it, yes, I'll have to jump through some hoops, but I will be able to return it.
Yeah.
With D2C brands, you've got certain apps in the App Store that will let you import all these AliExpress. There's an app on the App Store now that will let you copy Amazon reviews over and let you bring in reviews from everywhere. And it lets you moderate all the 1-star and 2-star and 3-star reviews and only leaves you with the 5-star. I think people can see through that. I don't think it's good for the industry. Your reviews need to be good quality. They need to be verified. And they need to be trustworthy. So they need to have things like photos. They need to be, some have video. Some even have to be, not everyone has a great experience. A negative review actually will help you increase sales. And that sounds crazy, but people want to see the good, the bad, and the ugly to get a full picture.
Yeah, and because it's that thing of, it's too good to be true, right? If you see something that only has 5-star, you're like, something's going on here. Like
that's what Amazon do. Amazon, I'll look at a thing, it'll have a 4.9 rating. I'll go on, there'll be 10 great reviews and 1 bad review. I probably learn more from the bad review. So psychologically, I know the reviews are genuine.
Yeah,
I'm in.
For sure. Yeah,
whereas
definitely.
I think in the D2C space, there's this complete panic about getting a 1-star review. And there's this complete, they're misled that they think that the nothing beats. So reviews identify who your brand advocates are for me as well. So when you collect a review and you've got a 5-star review in Klaviyo, that should be tagged as an advocate. Or in Omnisend or whatever CRM manager, email manager you're using, whatever brain you're using within your marketing, that should be tagged as a advocate. And we should separate now that person off from the people who don't review you, because they're your customers. They're your past customers. So you've got your past customers and you've got your advocates. And really, we should be using the advocates to spread word of mouth. And we should be getting them to do more for the brand. If they love the brand, you should be using them more. Turning your brand advocates into ambassadors is the key for D2C brands for me at the moment. And that's probably what I don't see enough of. They're great at collecting reviews. They'll get a 5-star review on a product, but then they really won't do much more with it.
Mm.
But yeah, Amazon and eBay have both been built off reviews. They've both been review heavy. So's Airbnb. A lot of the big tech companies that came out after the .com crash were all very, very review heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of then e-commerce companies over the last couple of years have had a boom from COVID, from just expansion. We've had this wave of growth. The switch from the high street to online has been happening for the last decade, but it got ramped up during COVID.
Yeah.
So brands that they got too complacent. They didn't care whether they had the reviews. They were going to get the sale anyway, almost. And I think those days are gone. They've now probably got to work a little bit harder. They've got to have all the trust signals, and they've got to have the right information on the page at the right time to get that sale if they want to be a top tier D2C retailer. So I think things are changing massively. It's an exciting space, and there's a lot going on in it. It's a funny little part of the D2C industry.
Yeah, I don't think people realize, like you said there, about people that leave a review are people that really love your product. Like, think how many times, if you're in the car or at home, whatever now, think how many times you've actually left a review for a product.
Yeah.
Probably not that many. I think, I think, to be fair, I think most reviews I've left have been negative. I'm going to be totally honest with you. Like, so think of what it takes for one of your customers to go, I love this product so much, I'm going to take 5 minutes out of my busy schedule and I'm going to go and leave a review on this person's website. Like that's a big step. So if that person is doing that, then you need to, you need to hold on to that person. It
actually does something else psychologically as well once you're writing that review, because somebody makes a commitment to write a review. They've committed to your brand. And that's a different thing. So now when somebody's wrote a review down on paper, on paper, we, typed it into the computer or wrote it down on paper, either way, they've made a commitment. They stand by that. That's published. Their friends see that. So now those people will defend your brand.
Yeah.
They are your advocates. They're the ones that we really need to harness the power of. And that's where I kind of see the industry going, is that we really work hard to help brands identify who their main advocates are and harness that power.
Yeah. Would you say that's one of the biggest mistakes that you see that brands do, is they're just ignoring the fact that people are leaving reviews?
Yeah. I think the biggest mistake that brands probably have is that they don't have anybody managing their reviews. They don't give the role to anybody. They install a review platform. They set it on collect a review 7 days after collection, and they don't really analyze the reviews that are coming in. They don't learn from the data that they're collecting. That's probably the biggest mistake. I worked with a brand, one of the biggest sports retailers in the UK. You can probably imagine who they are. You've probably got one of their mugs sitting on your shelf. It's one of those huge retailers. And we was working with those guys now. They had no one in the business managing their reviews. And it came to their annual review. And I went down to their office and I printed some stats off earlier on in the day. And I was like, I'm going to go in and I'm going to show them the value of this information. And I went in and I said, listen, do you know why you get bad reviews? And they were like, yeah, no, because we're price led. We're not this. And I said, that's not the thing. I said, you get bad reviews. They got 1,000 bad reviews a month for one product.
Go on.
It was their mug that we just spoke about. And what it was, they were shipping it in a box where it was just rattling around and cracking the handle. They got 1,000, and obviously they sell hundreds of thousands of these things.
Yeah.
They got 1,000 bad reviews a month for that product.
And all they need to do to fix that is ship
Simple phone insert, just change the shipping tiny. It cost them pennies.
Yeah.
And it just, and and they wouldn't learn. So one of the other things that we highlighted to them, so I put up photos. So when somebody was leaving a bad review, they were taking a photo, and they kept seeing photos with the tag attached to the clothes. And I'm like, this is so basic. So they installed a better system on the warehouse to stop tags being attached. It's just basic stuff, but they weren't learning from it. They could have learned this so much earlier in the process.
Yeah.
And learnt from it and done a lot more. And instead, because they had no ownership, no one was looking at the reviews, they weren't handling the issues in the business faster.
Yeah.
But also what I learned was they weren't handling the good things in the business faster. They weren't putting the good reviews to work at all.
Yeah.
They were doing nothing with them. They were just like, nah, we've got them. It was like they had 250,000 5-star reviews and did nothing with them.
I think it's so easy to fall into that trap when you become a certain size of company that the customers are just numbers, the reviews are just numbers. Yeah. And it's when you do that your customer service starts to lack and everything. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, everything revolves around the customer, right? Like of
course it does.
When we're making content, one of the things that we do is we look through the reviews of the products, mostly to find what people like about it, but also what people don't like about it. Like they might say, oh, I didn't know that this was this size and I can't fit this in it. Yeah. Okay, well, we need to create content that shows people that this product is this size. Because then that automatically knocks down the number one problem people might have with buying it. It's simple when you think about it.
Exactly. So what you're doing there is review mining. So you're doing a basic version of review mining. You're going out, you're reading the reviews, and you're analyzing, pulling out themes. Yeah. Right? That is basic review mining. And that probably will be the biggest trend for the next 5 years to do with reviews, is understanding the positives, the negatives, the neutrals about the reviews. So if I look at my competitors' reviews, so I only really got into review mining by looking at my competitors' reviews. We was doing a new landing page, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to go real deep into this. This was a couple of years ago, and I learned so much. And I managed to build a landing page that converted so much higher than all my other landing pages. I was focusing on the wrong things.
Yeah. Yeah, because you as a business owner, you're in a bubble. We're all in a bubble. And it isn't until you step out of that, you quickly see, oh, all these things that I cared about, the customer actually doesn't care about.
Didn't care about. You know what kept with mine? When I analyzed my competitors' reviews, the common thread that came out of the reviews was unfriendly. So when I pushed all the marketing out for reviews.io, I made it all friendly. That was all I was trying to do. I tell all my customer service guys, you've got to be the friendliest guy out there. You've got to be that guy who goes that extra mile and helps the person, because we're the friendly company. That's changed our business. Just by doing basic review mining, it's changed our business, because I was able to analyze our competitors' reviews, see that there was this common repeated message. Their customers taken for granted, customers unfriendly customer service, this unfriendly, and I just kept seeing it. And I thought, hold on, let's do some tests. And I did some tests around it, create a landing page, create some ads, and it was fabulous. And now, I've tried to instill that at the top of the business right down, that we're the friendly alternative. And that's probably been one of the best things that's happened for reviews.
We spoke earlier about how kind of cherry picking reviews and almost curating reviews. Okay. And like we said, I think as a DTC brand, you fall into the trap that you need to have all 5-star reviews. How curated should your reviews be if they are curated?
Not curated at all.
It should be 100% honest all the time?
I think so. There's reasons why you wouldn't show a negative review. You know, if it mentions a customer's, a member of staff's name, it mentions your competitor. But if generally it's just because something was wrong and the product was low quality, that's on you to fix.
Yeah.
You know, you as a company should go, thanks for letting us know about that. We're taking that on board. Put a comment, put a reply. Say publicly, hold on, we think that's just out on that product. We're going to actually send you out a new product. Yeah. That's building trust. If you do that, you're in. Because everybody who goes on that page, if I've got a problem, this customer service are going to sort this out.
Yeah, I was just about to say that the easiest way instead of curating reviews is just to loop back round and reply to them and fix the problem for them publicly. Because everyone's going to see that.
Exactly.
It's not an email.
And they love it. Customers, I love it. If I'm buying something, I was buying some cars, not this year, last year for Hudson. I bought these cars for 14 electric cars for Christmas for kids in my area that have got disabilities, and I get them all, and I made them all custom. A lot of the kids didn't have use of their feet, so they have use of their hands, so I customized them in that. So I was looking for reviews, and I went with a company purely based off the replies to their reviews. It showed me that when something went wrong, they were willing and able to jump on a phone and get it resolved. And I wasn't dealing with somebody, who didn't care, and I was dealing with email. It was that they put a telephone number in, to be honest, in one of their replies and said, here you go, call me.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I want to deal with.
Definitely. Yeah, so true. What are the core things you think people can do as well as that in their reviews on their site to boost the conversion rate? Because that's one of the main reasons why people put reviews. So as well as replying to stuff, which you should be doing, as well as being truthful and not curating reviews, what other steps can people put onto their pages to do with reviews that helps boost that conversion rate?
So obviously, if you're looking at the page, at the product page, let's talk about product page level. That's the best way to talk about it, because that's where we're driving most of the traffic. So the first thing you've got to make sure is that we've got rich snippets on the page. Showing the stars in natural results. Secondly, the product reviews that we have on the product have got to be pushed through to Google Shopping, because that's such a big thing, and a lot of brands miss out on that. But if you're working with a good platform like ourselves and other platforms, then they'll do that for you and they'll get it right. You've got to have the reviews on your page so that it looks native. You don't want a nasty ass widget of reviews on there that just doesn't look like the rest of your site. It's going to look... It lowers trust. What we want on there is the reviews to look like they're from your customers. You want to have the images, you want to have the photos, but it's all about building trust. They want to be on brand. So really making sure that you've got those things right on the page. Now, to bring the reviews in, conversion to collect the reviews is another thing. But if you're talking about boosting conversion from that page, definitely making sure you've got all the review snippets in the right places, making sure that you're displaying the reviews on your page in the right way and it's fast. So when you're picking who your provider is, do a speed test, check that your reviews are loading and not slowing down your site, because that's the last thing you want to do. Because that will lower your conversion. You don't want to be lowering your conversion. You want to be increasing your conversion. One thing that we've got, one feature that we've recently launched is called Review Nuggets. And that's where you can literally copy, highlight part of a review, and you can select that as a nugget. And then that part of that review goes to the top right near the buy button. And what you're doing there is anybody who's looking, I'm just coming onto the page and I'm looking at the price and I'm looking at 5 stars. And then there's this curated, and it's you can't amend the review. You're
Yeah,
just
you can
taking a
highlight
snippet of
it.
the review.
Yeah.
All you're doing is highlighting it and getting it near the buy button. And we've found that has a huge effect.
Yeah.
Huge effect on conversion. It's about 11%.
Amazing.
What we've found, so at reviews.io, we have some pretty good analytics, and we have a recorder, we have a pixel that records conversion and that people are looking at the reviews. So it's I suppose it's similar to Hotjar.
Yeah.
Everyone knows Hotjar, replays and so forth. So this kicks in if the client's activated it, and it will record the customer's session, and if the customer has read the reviews. And then we look at the conversion on people who read the reviews versus people who don't read reviews.
Yeah.
And we can give a proper ROI. And we see really good numbers. One of the biggest things that we notice in conversion, when people read reviews, they actually have a higher basket value.
Yeah.
So it's like you're building trust, so they're spending more with you. That's what we've noticed.
Yeah.
Customers who don't read reviews generally spend, it's about 18% less, which was huge. And we did that over about 60 brands and 250,000 orders.
Wow. That's amazing. So when you mentioned Google reviews before, now I had a call with someone the other day, and they said the reason they booked a call with us because they checked our Google reviews, and I was like, what? I haven't even checked our Google reviews in about 3 years. And I went on there and they were so old now. I was like, okay, I need to make a conscious effort,
concerted
to tell
effort to make sure
to leave stuff on. So when it comes to reviews, what's the place that people should be focusing on building reviews? Because yes, building reviews on site is really important, but what about things like Trustpilot and because I do, especially with services, I go to Trustpilot quite a lot because I trust them to have verified them and it's not being curated. But where should brands be putting the focus? Like, should they just be going all in on site, or should they be going Google?
So it's a bit of both. It's a bit of both. So we have a solution called Reputation Manager, which actually takes all of this into account. We monitor your Google reviews, Trustpilot reviews, Yelp, wherever your brand is. Each brand is different. So it really depends where your customer is doing the research. So if you're a D2C brand, generally you're not having Google local reviews. You've got Google seller ratings, which is the stars next to the ads. You have Google Shopping, which is the stars next to the shopping results, your products in shopping. And then, you probably will have Trustpilot. You might have reviews.io as well. You might have SiteJabber. You might have one of these other sites, one of the other third-party sites. So what we did at reviews.io was to, we had clients coming to us and saying, right, we have this problem. There's too many review sites now. It's becoming unmanageable. So what we did was build a tool that we monitor the review sites, those other review sites, and we make sure they've got a consistent score. So when your customers, somebody buys from your D2C brand, if you've got a low score on Trustpilot, for instance, we'll then send that customer to that platform to leave the review. Now, if you've got a great score everywhere, then we want the reviews on your site. We want the reviews on the product pages. So we're trying to balance and managing it. And we've built a solution that does that. And it's a difficult thing to manage, and it's not going to get easier. Yeah.
Because as more review sites come around, it's just gonna get harder.
So if go.
No, go on, carry on.
No, go on. Right. No, you go on this time.
How important are multimedia reviews, like photos and UGC videos and all that? Because I have to say, I mean, I'm sure I speak for everyone. I much prefer looking at a photo review or a video review because it just ticks all the right boxes, right? How can you encourage people to do that? Because natively, they just want to just leave a text review because they don't want to go out of their way to take a photo or a video. So how can you as a brand, what can you do? What steps can you put in place to get those customer photos?
If you're using a good review platform, you should be collecting about 10% of your reviews should have video and photo. That's generally a rule of thumb. I think that's a rule of thumb as anyway. You can incentivize your customers to leave you that video or product video or photo review. I don't think you need to. It's asking at the right time, right? So I did thousands and thousands of tests on this, and this sounds. Some people go to me, "No, Callum, that's not true. I've tested it myself," and I'm like, "No, just come on, then let's run a test," and I'll call the media manager out on it. Doing a discount to leave a review gets a lower conversion than not doing a discount.
Really?
Yeah. If I can work out, if I can get to your customer's happy point, whether that's when they get delivery or whether it's 2 days later when they've done the unboxing and they've put their bike together. But as long as I can get the review collection request in their inbox and work out where the happiest point is in this whole purchasing journey, I will get a high conversion than offering a discount.
Yeah. It makes sense, right? Because one is going to be very organic, the other is going to be artificial.
And what it is that those people, it's very difficult to turn somebody into a brand advocate once you've almost not paid them, but once you've incentivized them to do the review. It's totally different. So I generally, tell my clients, look, if you're going to incentivize, don't do it too much, but I don't recommend it. I incentivize post the reviews thing, or, on your brand ambassadors, but make sure you hit the happiest point. It's far more important than throwing another discount out. Video photos are becoming way more popular. It goes up daily, how many we collect. We've made it even easier for people to leave photos and videos. You can put a TikTok URL in now. You can straight upload from your phone and it does it all in the background. It's so easy now to leave that media. And because it's easier, more people are doing it.
Yeah, for sure.
We are in a world where we take photos of everything. So we get some very good ones. When we launched Reviews.io, the photo solution, we sat there and we was like, how long before we get some naked person on there in the background? And it was actually longer than I thought.
It was 2 days instead of one.
Yeah, it did happen. Yeah. It did happen. So I was like, right, now we've got to get cleverer with this. So photos are much easier to analyze from an AI point of view. The no hot dog thing. If you've ever watched Silicon Valley, the program there where they do that hot dog and no hot dog. We've almost got a similar version. Videos is much more difficult because you have to watch the video all the way through to, you could do a great video review and then the last 10 seconds get completely naked. And I've not watched it and published it.
That is normally how I do my reviews as well, which is weird that you've said that.
but and then I've put it on your web on this massive D2C brand's website, So what we do with video reviews, we don't publish until the client has watched the video, and then it's on them to publish the video review. The photos we're pretty good at. The AI is pretty good at spotting naked people in it, and they can be flagged pretty quickly. And we have a team that spots them and moderates them pretty easily. But more and more. But we get some good videos and some amazing photos that we see coming through.
Amazing. Well, it's been such a pleasure to sit down and talk with you, Callum. It really has. Like, I love geeking out about this stuff, and it was great to have you on. So, if people want to check out yourself, they want to check out reviews.io, give us all the information.
So, the best place probably, I post on LinkedIn and Twitter. I have a bigger following on Twitter. I post a lot of personal stuff there as well about my son and me being an entrepreneur and running reviews.io. On Twitter, I'm a bit newer. I don't post, I'm trying to post more. That was my New Year's resolution to get doing more on Twitter. So you can find me on either of those locations. Obviously, the site, it's in the name, reviews.io. If you'd like a trial, drop me a DM on any of those platforms and I'll help you get a trial where one of my team can get you set up. No questions asked, and we'll try and be that friendly review platform that you probably need in your life.
Amazing. Thank you so much, mate. It's been a real pleasure.
No problem, Fraser. Thank you. Always an honor.
And that's it for this episode of the DTC Deep Dive. Thanks very much. By the way, if you do like the new logo, branding, all that stuff, drop me a DM or a tweet. It would be much appreciated at Sour Fraser. I shall see you in the next one. Bye-bye.